Hi, I'm Ashura, and welcome to the first storyline in my playthrough of the main Azj-Kahet campaign, Friends in the Dark. If you're new here, I am all about this story and lore, so I'm going to be going through this storyline, narrating all of the quests and character dialogue, and talking a bit about background lore and context where appropriate. I'm gonna skip the parts where I have to kill 15 nerubians, unless it's relevant for the story. As a quick note, I have done this zone before. This is not my first time, so this will not be a reaction video, but if you are interested in seeing my reactions, you can find those on my Twitch, along with all of the story content, because it is included there, and I will put the description for that in the link, the caption, below. So let's jump right in. A bit of a quick recap on the story, because it sort of throws you in here. At the end of Hallowfall, we'd taken the Arathi airship, the Reckoning, to circumvent a nerubian invasion that was happening in one of the Arathi towns. They were kidnapping a bunch of the residents and preparing an attack on the Arathi. Unfortunately, in the process of taking the airship up, we lost Anduin. So Faerin, Alleria, and us, we go deeper into Azj-Kahet with the airship in an attempt to retrieve and find Anduin from where he's been consumed by the nerubian hordes, and in the process get a little bit tangled up, shall we say. So that's where we are.
My faith kindles my hope.
Damn it all. We were too hasty, and now my people are paying the price. We were fools to think the nerubians wouldn't be prepared for an incursion. Arathi soldiers are made of stern stuff, but even they will struggle to walk off an airship crash. I will keep everyone here safe. Please, go into the field and rescue as many people as you can.
Don't give in to fear. What news?
Anduin survived that swarm. I do not doubt that for a moment. Even so, the nerubians are everywhere, and he is just one man. Wherever he goes, wherever he is taken, I will find him. Find me any sign that he yet lives. It is all I need to follow him to Azeroth's end.
The shadows can be an ally.
Anduin would not have given up without a fight. He has to be down there. Though it is but a scrap, the worn threads of this fabric seem familiar. The reticulated pieces are bent and broken beyond repair. Thankfully, none of these appear human. It seems unlikely that Anduin met his demise here. Do you see any sign of that woman who saved us? No, but I did find tracks leading south. There's something foul down there as well.
When shadow falls, lamplighters rise.
I thank you, on behalf of those you saved. No one deserves to die alone in the dark, least of all in a place like this.
In my heart, there is fire.
You've returned. I trust you have news.
Farewell.
A shattered gauntlet and some scraps of cloth. But no corpse. That's good, at least. He's alive, and he fought back. Still, it's not much to go on. Most rangers would be understandably stumped. Luckily, I am not most rangers.
Aim true.
I've hunted demons across the Great Dark. If Xal'atath thinks that she can escape me, then she's more foolish than I thought. I feel like Xal'atath isn't trying to escape her, though. She's definitely trying to lure her deeper in to, like, turn her to the void.
Keep your gaze fixed on your target.
When we crashed, the nerubians were upon us in an instant. We would have lost nearly everyone we brought with us had someone not intervened. I do not know who or what stepped in on our behalf. But if there is even a shred of hope that we have allies in this place, then we must seize upon it and refuse to let go.
If you are lost in darkness,
we need to regroup. There's no time. You find the others. I'll find Anduin. She's gone. Whoever saved us earlier clearly isn't a friend of the Nerubians. Seek her out. I'll get everyone to safety. So you survived the ambush. Impressive. I've seen many things threaten the Great Roots, though I admit that this black blood seems particularly virulent. Who are you? Who I am is none of your concern. I've watched you, since you and yours started trekking through the depths. I think you have a good heart, and I think you'll understand the threat that this black blood seems to pose to our world. For now, that will have to be enough. I'm not at liberty to say more. Ah, you survived. Excellent. You have much to do. Truthfully, I don't care what the Nerubians are plotting. They are not the first upstart people seeking power, and they certainly won't be the last. The problem is how they're going about it. I fear that tampering with this black blood will threaten far more than the delicate ecosystems of Xal'Atath. We must make sure that they never return to this pit again. Their equipment is still strewn throughout the pit. Destroy as much of it as you can manage. This is not exactly the place for a long talk, so I will be brief. These roots you see are part of something much greater than you know, and it is my job to protect them. If it isn't obvious to you already, this place is teeming with writhing black blood. If we do not act, it will spread deeper and further still. You want allies? Fine. Help me cleanse this place and protect these roots, and I will at least hear you out. So there's two things to take from this. One being the black blood is, I assume, the blood of the old gods. We previously experienced the black blood, or something very similar to it, in Northrend, with Serenite, which was the blood of Yogg-Saron. And, I don't know if it's a bit of a stretch to say that the Shah are sort of the blood of Yasharaj. Maybe not quite literally his blood, but that they are the remnants of him, essentially. I'm not quite sure who the black blood here belongs to. We're close enough to Pandaria that it makes me think of Yasharaj. But it could be any of the old gods, it could be all of the old gods, it's not very clear. The second thing to take from these quests are the roots. And this is a tiny spoiler for a side story a little bit further on, but since I won't be covering that story in this video, I will simply say it. You come across another of the Heronir who tells you that these are the roots of a world tree, which is the closest thing we get to a confirmation that this may actually be where Elun'Ahir was. And we learned about Elun'Ahir in Dragonflight from one of the books in the Emerald Dream. Elun'Ahir was taken from a branch of Ganir, the mother tree, and planted on Azeroth by Anar. Unfortunately, Aman'Thul didn't really like that, and so he ripped Elun'Ahir out of the surface of Azeroth, removing the tree, but leaving most of its roots, which still continue to delve deeper into Azeroth to this day and purge corruption, which may or may not be what they're doing here. At that time, we had no idea where Elun'Ahir actually was. There was a pretty popular theory that it was located in Ungoro Crater, since Ungoro Crater is quite literally a crater. But also because in the Emerald Dream, in the Emerald Nightmare raid, there was a world tree in Ungoro Crater, and we'd not seen or heard anything about a world tree there before. At this point, it seems to be that Xal'Atath is actually where Elun'Ahir was located, but it has not been explicitly stated. Elun'Ahir has not been explicitly named, simply that these roots belong to a world tree, and it seems most likely that that world tree was Elun'Ahir. The black blood is dangerous, especially in nerubian hands. End their efforts here. They will meet you above, if you survive again. So you made it out alive. I knew I was right about you. As the player and Orwena emerge from the breathing pit, they are confronted by the other Heronir in Orwena's pod. An argument ensues. The other Heronir questioning why Orwena would break one of the sacred rules to enlist the help of this mortal. Orwena says that it had to be done for the sake of the roots. The Heronir begrudgingly accept the new direction and depart for now, but not before warning Orwena that there will be consequences for all of them for what she has done. Orwena scowls. The nerubians are a bold people, but this seems extreme, even for them. Between your sweat and my spell work, we've managed to at least contain the problem to this blighted cavern. Still, what a disaster. If this is what one cave of the stuff can do, I shudder to think what the nerubians might do with more of it. My people do not think that this black blood is a threat to our world. It has sat dormant for ages, after all. Why should that change now? But the world is changing more quickly than my people realize. The Nerubians' decision to extract the blood for their own ends is proof of that. The Nerubians hold a watchtower, not far from here. The ones who survived the pit could not have gotten too far. We should give chase immediately. Come with me. You need to know what you fight against. Someone was here first. Not a battle. A hunt. The trail runs cold. Check the watchtower. It would seem our trail runs cold here. The player witnesses the City of Threads for the first time. Orwena warns the player off, telling them that they have no hope of infiltrating the city. If Alleria and Anduin are there, then they are lost. Orwena departs, leaving the player alone. Behind them, a small spider creature rings a bell, attracting their attention. The bizarre creature's eyes remain locked upon you, unwavering. It nudges something towards you, a scroll with a thick seal of violet wax. The words written on the parchment appear burned, not written. A venomous tang singes your nose. Blind and alone, you stumble in the dark. I offer you a thread to cling to. Follow it, should you wish to find your allies. The strange creature blinks at you placidly, waiting only a moment before scurrying into the dark. The spider gestures frantically towards the road before crouching down behind a bush. It seems to want you to hide.
Watch and lurk, drudges. There will be no interruptions on Ascension Day.
Panicked, the minuscule spider quickly envelops you in a mess of webs before scurrying off down the road. The cowering spider waits for an opening in the violence before skittering away from the predators. Ah, there's the little morsel now. Come in, come in. You are most welcome here. So you followed my guiding line to its terminus. For both our sakes, I am glad that your zeal outpaces your survival instinct. Ikitashizal, little morsel. I hope you find the accommodations here to your taste. Make no mistake, I have no intention of sending you off to skitter about in the dark like a freshly hatched beetle. It wouldn't do to have my little morsel snatched up by a starving cave-borer. You must educate yourself, my dear. Your allies have found themselves ensconced in a torrid tapestry. Only by familiarizing themselves with its erstwhile architects can you hope to reclaim them. Luckily for you, I have made some of my personal resources available to you. You've endured quite the evening since your ill-fated little ship ride, haven't you? Worry not, little morsel. You will find that my friends here are most accommodating, even to someone with your predilections, as strange as they may be. Please, take a moment to explore. Avail yourself of my many amenities. With luck, you will find some sorely needed rest. Oh, but do take care not to move about too quickly. Sudden movements, I'm sure you understand. You must be quite tired. Take a moment to familiarize yourself with your surroundings, and no doubt you have questions for me as well. Tell me about yourself. I am the widow Arachne. For many years, I officially served as the royal weaver to Queen Neferis. Unofficially, I pursued a variety of additional interests. But now my beloved queen is dead, and her daughter has been led astray by a so-called harbinger. I will not allow this creature to usurp our great kingdom for her own ends. But I cannot stop her alone. Tell me about the enemy forces. This harbinger has the entirety of Azj-Kahet's military at her disposal. Before her arrival, General Anub'Azal led the kingdom's forces. Ansarek deposed him in favor of one of the harbinger's pet ascended, and now the army's ranks teem with those corrupted wretches. Tell me about the ascended. The Ascended are the Harbinger's gift to Ansarek, a fierce contingent of violent hunter-killers, made by the Harbinger in the darkest depths of the city's transformatory. They are impossibly strong, and I have no army of my own. If I am to reach Ansarek and dispose of the Harbinger, then I will need to find a way to subvert her military might from within. Tell me about the Queen's inner circle. Even if we do not engage the Harbinger directly, a more subtle approach will prove equally as difficult. What I need is an ally in Ansarek's inner circle, someone who can come and go without suspicion. Denizens of the boroughs speak of a vizier, some manner of patriot who works from within the Queen's walls. He would do nicely, if only I knew his identity. Do you know where my allies are? Worry not, little morsel. I am well aware that you did not come down here alone. I have already sent my weave rats to track down your compatriots. Consider it a gesture of good faith, and with luck, the start of a long and mutually beneficial relationship. How did you know where to find me? I specialize in little pushes, dear. Every plan is a tapestry, and I am adept at nudging and tugging just one thread at a time. You, though, are less of a tugged thread and more of a lit match. The Harbinger's shadowy venom has stained Ansarek's tapestry. That is why I sought you out. I require a stray ember, and you need a friend in the dark. Now you see how the stage has been set. You have arrived in the middle of the play, I fear, but you needn't worry. You've time yet to play a most vital role. Well, are you not impressed with my hospitality? And that's the first storyline! It's such a tease because we get to meet the Heronir, and then that's like the only time we see them in the entire zone. After this, it is all Nerubian infiltration plot, and I am so excited for what's to come. So thank you for joining me for the first storyline, and hopefully I will see you for part 2 next time. I took jump a little bit. I don't even have to kill these. Why am I doing this? I should rephrase that. Why is it aggressive? Alright, let's get to it! Not again. What? Huh? Oh, I ran into one of the mines. Oh, I'm so eepy.